This video is brought to you by these fantastic sponsors, as well as Mobile Gaming News Network, mobilegamingnews.com, your one-stop shop for all your mobile gaming news, reviews, and information you can use. Head on over and sign up, and if you are inclined to write some articles, go ahead and sign up for that as well. We are always looking for more writers. But with that, let's get into the video.
Welcome to the Infinite Library.
What is up, and welcome to the Infinite Library podcast. I am your host, Shotgun Shogun, and I am joined with Pachex and Snow, who is feeling a little bit better this week. I'm glad to hear that you are over your little sniffles that you had, Snow.
Oh, me too. Dude, it sucked. I couldn't breathe.
Did
So
you,
you're supposed to
were
be
you-
like I had coronavirus.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say-
fought a hard
I was actually about to say that during the recording. I'll be like, yeah, I'm back, guys. Sorry, I was fighting the coronavirus. I'm the only person who get the coronavirus and come back to live to tell the tale.
That's right.
the only one.
The only one, but is okay, because I actually feel like if you were on the if you were on the program last time, Snow, we would have had a 3 or 4 hour podcast. It was already like super long, and I was like, so much stuff to talk about.
So much.
Yeah, this time we only really have like Valentine's Day, the buff units.
I mean, there's still plenty of stuff to talk about, but let's get into the stuff that we're going to talk about. You said the Valentine's Day, so we got the new Valentine's Day event, and I'm gonna say right off the bat, like, I actually like these more story driven events. Like, yeah, it's cool and all, like having fights and stuff like that, but realistically I feel like events and the side stories and stuff like that are there to do additional world building. And let's be real, it doesn't matter how many maps you fight on, you're only going to farm the one that you can adjust the difficulties on anyways. So having more and more story, I think, is really good. It helps flesh out a lot of characters.
yeah,
I think
it's
there's
an
a-
opportunity
Go
to
ahead.
just get to know the characters at like a more personal level.
Yeah, I think a lot of people complain in this game that, like, oh, there's not enough content. There's not enough content. Like, story is content to a lot of people. And, like, I know you may or may not be a guy who skips story, I don't know, but, like, a lot of people enjoy this kind of content, so I think it's good to have more story.
Oh, absolutely. No, I definitely don't skip any of the story content. Now, a lot of times I don't remember what happened in the story like 6 months ago on like some obscure little note in a side story for somebody else. And sometimes I'll be like, yo, who the hell is this character? And then someone will be like, Shogun, didn't you read the story of, Lulika and this like one tiny little thing? And I'm like, no, I didn't, nerd.
See, that's the guy. That's the guy, though. The guy who's interested in Lulika and the Three Bears. That's the guy that likes story content.
Right. No, I mean, I really do like the story. It's just, I wish, what, honestly, like one of the best things that they could put in this game is the side story in like the journal, because just there's some of them I want to go back and read, and if we're not getting epic rerun over and over and over again, like some of those side stories, the newer people are never going to see that. And I think that that's actually one of the big problems that like a lot of games have, is that for players that start way later, like if they never rerun the DN side story or event in general, I guess that is the side story, is the whole ass event, but then like newer players are not going to be able to like get that, they're not going to be able to see the cutscenes, anything like cutscenes, like story stuff like that. And that is a big part of the game. And like you said, a lot of the people that are clamoring about not having any content and, oh, this side story is the same boring side story. I saw people that, people complain if the side story is just farming, and then they'll complain if there's too much story, and they're like, I've got to read all this stuff. I can't read. Come on, Smilegate. So it's really a damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I personally really enjoy the like kind of choose your own adventure, almost light novel, not really, but you can go back through and do every other one, but I do kind of like to see how the story progresses based on like your choices and stuff.
Yeah, I really like what Granblue does with side stories. How basically like old events and such, they come back permanently, and they're just kind of like this little side section that you can play. Like there's the sides, and you can access it at any time, and you can still go through that story. I really like that, and I wish more games did that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree with you there. Now, would you continue to put the side story shop in for Epic 7? Now, I know Granblue obviously has it in there, but that's, we're talking single player versus, Epic 7. So they're kind of hard to really compare. But do you think that if they did put those stories in and they made it, let's say that you could just play through it with no AP cost just to see the story or whatever, do you think that if they did put an AP cost in and had the side story, that would be any sort of imbalance?
I don't know if they'd need to put in the whole shop, but I think particularly if the side story introduced an artifact that was only available in that side store, or
Yeah.
like a piece of equipment or something, I think those should be in there, but maybe
That would
not a
be good.
full-blown one.
Right.
Like Granblue doesn't put the full thing either. Like when the event actually played, it actually had quite a few more things in the shop.
Fair.
So I don't know.
That would be pretty good. If you're listening, Smilegate, I know that Snow is an employee of yours. That would be a really good idea.
That's right, Snow. Tell your boss.
I'm only in charge of not rigging of the summon rates.
Right, and pushing mystic packs.
Hey, I'm guaranteed the next ML 5-star in the Mystic rotation. It's definitely gonna be ML Syria.
MLS area? You think so?
No, probably ML Charlotte.
Really?
I still remember when everyone thought Luluka was a military.
That's true. That's they'd. I can't see a Moonlight Charlotte like that. That would be really weird. I mean, they're doing the Charlotte rework, but I mean, I don't think that a Moonlight Charlotte is like that close in the hopper. Emily Angelica, I think.
Which RGB 5-stars not gotten an ML yet? Like
They've had ML
Syria-
Crow in the design phase for forever. Like we've actually seen pictures of him.
Oh yeah. He might be the next one, who knows? Or maybe it just might be like a entirely different character.
I'm telling you though, it's gonna be Emily Angelica is gonna be 5-star. Without a doubt, they would be wasting too much money to not give her the Corvus treatment and make her a 5-star.
There's been precedent set. It could totally happen.
Yep.
I mean, during the war, she did solo Dark Corvus.
Yeah.
A monster.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, easy. So if Fire Corvus is a 4-star and he got bumped up to a 5-star, then Angelica, who soloed Dark Corvus, who's the 5-star, should just get bumped up to a 5-star. Easy. Easy peasy. There you go. That's the lore behind it.
Sounds solid.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that so the other thing too with the Valentine's Day event, and one of the gripes that I've seen is the way that they're doing the shop, and I put that in air quotes because I mean it is obviously still the shop, but they introduced like the weird portrait thing that you unlock through currency. Now a lot of people I've seen complaining, their complaint is that, well, every one that you open is random, right? And their gripe is that they don't want to farm extra for like the runes and the penguins, that they would have just skipped that regardless. And because it's random and because they don't want to finish the whole thing, this is a 1-star game.
I mean, I'm fine with it. Like they did a little tournament thing for Guilty Gear. It didn't bother me then either. It doesn't bother me now.
I just completed like both portraits, and it's like I happen to like it. I can't really find the option for turning in the extra currency that I have right now, which is a bit confusing.
Right, and that might be something that they do like near the end where they're like, oh hey, if you've got extra currency, you can turn it in for gold or whatever. But like my big thing is that, well, first off, I finish every side story because realistically, like I'm farming catalysts and walking dogs on side stories. So there's no real good reason to not get everything, because even if you just buy the penguins, right, well, you can just, transmute them for transmit stones If you're buying the runes, that's less spirit alter that you need to do, because guess what? Next time, they put out a specialty change, you're going to be like, oh man, sure do wish that I had those runes from that thing that I could have farmed and then also gotten catalysts, because I swear that the catalysts are buffed in drop rate on side stories, even though there's no actual proof, but it's just something that I feel deep down in my heart. But sure, the randomness kind of sucks. I would like to get the artifact like early on so that I can optimize my farming, but it kind of is what it is. I think that it is kind of interesting. They're kind of stepping away from just the same pattern that they've done for every other side story. And I think that some people just don't like change. But then again, I also think that some people just don't like literally anything that is put into this game.
Also, like, you kind of hit the nail on the head as far as changing the formula. Like, the formula has been kind of the biggest problem I've had with the side stories. It's kind of boring to have the exact same kind of thing over and over again, even if the content is different. And so, like, the fact that they are trying something new and different, whether the shop ends up better or worse, I'm happy they're trying something new. I want them to keep trying something new.
Yo, no, absolutely.
The usual formula for the side stories, eventually it just gets really old. Like when they introduced the tournament arc or the tournament thing for Guilty Gear, it felt fresh. And then the this one where you just use the currency to unlock those puzzle pieces for like another story for the characters, it felt fun also. Like, I welcome these changes.
I think the more new things they try, the better, honestly.
Right. And the other thing too is, like, I always feel like when they try something and they like get any sort of strong feelings, I'm not going to say backlash, because strong feelings, I'm pretty sure that they actually do take that back and they go, okay, well, you know what, we tried this new thing and everybody outside of Reddit thinks that it sucks as well, so you know what, maybe let's not do that again, right? Let's try something else. So it's like, if nobody liked the album thing, then maybe they probably won't bring it back. They'll try something different. But that's the thing, is they got to keep trying things. And I think that a lot of people just don't even give them like a chance. If it's something sucks, they're just like, this is literally the worst thing that's ever existed. But the most normal people don't actually think that. But yeah, it's just
people
really
weird.
Are
actually pretty resistant to change.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that, that's good. Like, normal side stories, like side stories that just come in between like events with characters, keep them the same cookie cutter. Just give me my bit of story about the character, the backstory, and then my normal side story shop. That's perfectly fine. But I think that with like the big 3-week events, like the Molagora Go events, those ones should have like something new, fresh, and interesting. Like, I don't want just a shop like the DN shop, or the other Valentine's Day shop. Like, I think that this is very neat. It adds like that extra level of uniqueness. Like, this is an event. This isn't just a side story, you know what I mean?
Yep. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Plus, I like that they brought in like a bunch of the non-main focus characters. Like Dingo is hilarious in this. I am much enjoying Dingo.
Yes, he had some good scenes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But so it's like, I do like when they bring up events and it's not just the same, main staple characters over and over again. So I think that, that's really interesting. I like the fact though that like they're bringing in the other characters. Was it Wesker and Woodrow from Witch Haven, which means potentially, since they are playing a big part in this story, Wesker Banner Wen. Although everybody's fallen in love with the one friend with the basket holding friend.
The one that actually has an animated portrait. I noticed that.
Are you
I was
sure
like,
it's not
why does this random person that doesn't even have a name have an animated portrait?
Yeah.
Boggles my mind.
It's like
I don't know.
Game Master or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
game assistant or whatever.
Yeah, game assistant.
Yeah.
Like,
and
game assistant is animated?
super hot. Yeah, she's super hot and she's got a basket, so which means that she'll have a limited artifact with her that rivals Alexa's basket. It'll just be called the Game Master's basket, and it's going to make Arbiter Vildred even more overpowered.
Transforms Hiroto into Lord Hiroto.
Hey, clearly, it's gonna be his Arbiter's extra equipment that he definitely needs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He definitely does need a buff. Speaking of buffs, we got a ton of the buffs that went in, and I can already tell you right now that I am loving the Fighter Maya changes. I was using Fighter Maya earlier today in RTA, and no joke, I took probably a 40-45% rule of light and just hit her with my S3. The first hit probably knocked her down into the 30% range, and then Fighter Maya just rocketed her off into the sky and killed her. I was completely stunned at how much damage that does now.
I haven't had the chance to mess around with a whole lot of the changes yet, but I thought that might be the case with her.
Yeah.
I inadvertently ended up using a buffed Spectre Tenebria in Banshee.
How'd it go?
I was pleasantly surprised when I saw it hit 2 of the Banshee sisters when Furious was a Pepega with his defense break.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's like, I think probably the biggest one out of that. And I'm interested to see just how much that's going to start wrecking in like Guild Wars and things like that, because like just
she's
the
actually
theory
already making impact in Arena, because, and from what I hear, a lot of RTA also, a lot of people are picking Spectre Tenebria,
oh I
which
bet
I'm very happy about because she is my Epic 7 waifu.
this is where I would put my Spectre Tenebria if I had one.
You mean you don't have all the ML5s yet?
No.
Get on our levels, Shogun. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? After Cerise is launched, then I will have all of them, because I've got like, I don't know, 50 or 60 Moonlight summons. So
Better find some wood to knock on.
that's right. That's right. It's gonna be 50 Gunthers. Gunther.
You know, actually, I'm also super happy that Spectre Tenebria got this buff and is getting her time in the limelight, because actually she's the reason I started playing the game. She's not like my favorite waifu necessarily, like Snow, but she is the one character that like I first started playing the game and she showed up and I was like, that character is cool.
I thought I was the reason you started playing the game. You lied to me, Pachex.
Well, I mean, you did get me to start it in the first place, but the reason I stayed was because Spectre Tenebria showed up.
Yeah, no, Spectre Tenebria is pretty cool. And yeah, I'm glad that she got her change, because I mean, for the most part, most people just used her in like a Guild Wars Shadow Squad, which I mean is super cool in the first place. But yeah, no, it is nice to see some of those characters getting some love. I haven't heard anything about the Fire Ricardo change, which I didn't expect anything to really come of that in the first place. But Fighter Maya is really good. I've actually heard some people talk about like the normal Tenebria buff is pretty solid. I haven't really heard too much about like Cecilia and yeah, but mostly it's
people are still messing around with Cecilia because she's still kind of awkward to use.
yeah. I want her to be good just so I can use that phenomenal skin more often.
I mean, clearly that skin was a bait for the best skin, which is the Schoolgirl Tenebria skin. All right, let's get that straight. It hasn't been released yet, but I can assure you it's going to be the best skin.
Yeah, you mean
Right.
The Aether skin?
No, that is the Guild Life's guilty pleasure.
Oh, fair enough.
What was it? I think his name was like Aether Bulge or something.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
I've seen that name around. Yeah. But no, I mean it's cool that the changes went through. I'm really thinking that Fighter Maya is going to make a lot more of an impact. I loved using her in.
I'm gonna use her a lot more.
Yeah.
I love using her anyway, but
I'm
Right,
actually
no, same.
planning on molaying her S1 because that is an extra 40%, and she bombed
Right.
you for like 5k or something.
Oh
yep.
yeah.
And the provoke chance is better.
As soon as I saw those changes, right, like I knew what she already did, like at the level that I had her. So I was just like, you know what, you're getting some molas, girl. Here, have some molas on that S1. So mine I think is plus 13 now. I've just got to finish out her S1 and then we're good to go. But like I said, it was crazy because I was like, man, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this because I had Fighter Maya and I had MRSA left and that was it. And I'm like, well, if I at least get her down, MRSA can follow up and kill her. And yeah, Fighter Maya just dunked her right to the moon and then just got another turn because you just killed somebody. I'm like, this is really stupid. So it's really good.
I think Fighter Maya is going to be dunking squishies to the moon that aren't anywhere near 30% health.
Yeah. No, I need to try that out because I mean, yeah, just having that soul burned modifier level of damage on just a normal S3 is pretty good. Plus, I mean, she just follows up and then she taunts whoever's next, right?
Yeah, like back then, that 50% flat 50% provoke chance was a bit frustrating to say the least. And now you get soul burn for 100%. So good.
Plus, it got bumped up anyway, right? Isn't it like 75?
Yeah, it's 75 now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way better.
And I mean, you can't stick any debuffs on her, really. I mean, with her S2, she just shrugs off debuffs like it's nothing. Then it gets increased defense, so she hits even harder.
Yeah, dude.
At one point, I had a noble oath on her.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty solid. I run her counterattack Elbrus Ritual Sword.
That's my favorite build, yeah. But like before I had the Elbrus build, I was doing that.
I prefer the counter Proof of Valor.
Why would you run Proof of Valor over?
Noble Oath is still a garbage artifact. Don't change my mind on that.
No, she scales her damage on defense, and the lower her defense goes.
Or what with the health, the higher her defense
goes, the higher her defense goes with Noble Oath. It's made for her.
Nah, it's garbage.
Okay.
All right.
I dislike the artifact a lot.
Stove commenter Snow has entered the chat.
We've been invaded by Reddit.
That's right. So we had the unit changes, we had the artifact changes. I have actually really enjoyed the Ritual Tooth. I need to get my gear moved over to my Gunther to do some Gunther memes with it, but I tested it out a little bit earlier today on my Luna in Wyvern, and it was pretty good. It's pretty decent. Good. Yeah. And I think that, once I get it on Gunther and I can do some Gunther memes with Gunther and Lilius, it's going to be pretty solid. That's actually, if I int tomorrow in Guild Wars, that's probably why.
I feel like I'm in the minority of still using Luna in things PvP, but like she just got a nice buff with that too. So I don't know. Yeah. Like I've already been using her successfully and she just got better basically. So I don't know.
Right.
I stripped my Luna of her gear. I can't.
Right? Everybody has, but except me, and for some reason I still make her work.
I think like a lot of the reason why like a lot of people kind of moved away from Luna is just because of the RNG factor on her S1. I mean, sometimes you're gonna be doing like way more damage. Other times, it's all about rolling the dice on that.
Yeah, but like you use that to your advantage. You put her with a team where she's going to be like they're going to use her in dual attacks a lot.
That's fair.
I guess
that's what I do. I don't know. It works.
Hey, you know what? If it works, it works, and that's how I look at it. People be like, "Well, that's really stupid." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it killed it, right?" And it's like, if it kills it, then it can't be that stupid.
Like I have a very low loss rate with the way I use Luna.
If your homework assignment was to make the pigeon fly and it with its wings, or just to make it fly, but it flew using its head spinning, you got the assignment completed.
That's right.
Yeah, it's what it is. Right.
But speaking of changes, we got the pet changes as well. Not only did they get rid of the snacks, but they also added in the chance for synthesis to not fail by adding in extra fodder pets. I think that that's amazing because there was nothing more frustrating than just trying to feed 2 3-star pets together that took a ton of pulls and pain in the ass, like leveling up, just to fail. So I think that was a huge change. Even if I had to even if I have to slap a handful of other pets in there, It's just 100% worth it to make sure that my, even if it was a 99% chance and dunking a pet in there made it 100% chance, I would do it, just because we all know that if it's not 100%, it might as well be 0%.
No, it's 50%. You have a unit that's 99.9% crit chance. It's still 50%.
Yeah.
True that. I got one perfect hunt pet under the for the hunts under the old system, and I was like, never again am I doing this ever. So all the rest of them, I'm like, okay, I only want the skills that I want, and if I can get those 2 skills at 2-star, that's all I need. So
Cool.
now I will actually probably upgrade those pets the rest of the way.
Remember the time that
That was a bad time.
Yeah, remember the time that I spent 70 million gold, and then the patch came out, and then they said they were going to reduce the amount of gold needed to craft? Well, I may or may not have burned through like 200 adoption tickets on like Monday trying to get my pet ready for the pet snack changes, to have them come out and say that they were going to increase the chance for synthesis by dunking other pets into it.
So basically, what we just need to do is, anytime there's a problem with Epic 7, Shogun just needs to save up a bunch of whatever the problem is, spend it all at once, and then the next day we'll get it fixed.
Right. I was like, I read the patch and I'm like, oh man, that's cool. There's going to be some limited Valentine's Day pets, and they're making synthesis way easier. Like, that's cool. Good thing I didn't burn through 200 adoption tickets the other day. Oh, that's right.
Good thing you didn't do that.
Good thing I didn't do that. But you know what?
Didn't you also make a video on like, spending 90 million gold, and then I think it was
Yes,
then announced
yeah,
that
it
it
was-
was going to be 40%?
Yeah, literally the next day. Yeah. Yep. That was my mega crafting session with my 36,000 Banshee 11 material after spending 100 hours a day farming Banshee 11. And then the next day they cut that gold price by 40%.
Well,
That's an oof right
Yep.
there.
Yep, but it's okay. It's okay. We will preserve and move
the well
forward.
shall rise
You
again.
persevere.
Yeah, persevere. There you go. Thanks for backing me up on that one. But no, I think that the synthesis is really cool. But the auto repeat for 20 times on a 4-star pet is pretty solid. I do enjoy only hitting the button for every 20 minutes now, because I have to have like 7 other gacha games I've got to farm. Even if it would have just been opening the chest, that has been a huge quality of life. Although I'll watch it, and then as soon as I see a chest on the screen, my hand instinctively goes to my mouse, and then I'm like, oh wait, that's right. I don't
Yeah,
have to do that.
yeah, I've done that a couple of times. Then like, oh wait, hang on.
Yep. It's gonna take a while to break that habit, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I think that even though this is like, it's really, really good, it's a good quality of life, it's going to lead to the next problem that everyone is going to have. And that is going to be that now that they have this, they're going to start complaining about stamina, because when you just set it on 20 runs and you go and do Wyvern, you aren't going to have any stamina left afterwards. And like, I've already seen people complaining about the fact that they just run out of stamina super fast now. And I think that when you were manually farming it, you didn't go past like the amount of stamina that you had, or you used like a little bit out of your mailbox or leaves or whatever. But it's like, now you just set it to 20 and let it go, and then you're just going to be out of stamina real quick.
I mean, back then, when you did manual, you were a bit more conscientious about like how much stamina you were using, and with this one, it's just your pet. Depending on what you set it to, it just takes your skystone or leaf to automatically refill it, and then you just see that your skystones are so low now.
Yep.
I think this is going to be something that people are going to need to be smart about. Because honestly, I don't think the fact that you go through stamina now means that Epic 7 has a huge stamina problem. I really don't think that it does. Like, I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but for a guy who actually goes to work 8 hours a day and can't actually play this game until I get home, like I just did all of the daily event stuff. It's taken me about an hour or two to get all the daily stuff done, including like all the RTA sessions and things like that. And grabbing all of the free stamina I got after that, I'm now back up to 673 that I'm about to start autoing, which is going to take a decent amount of time to go through. Yes, I could go higher than that, but like I think the idea is you're not going to be able to sit and just say I'm going to just do 20 Wyvern 11 over and over and over and not, spend money on Leaf Pack. But if you're like, okay, I want to build this character, let's go maybe farm the catalyst for this character. The catalyst thing is 8 instead of 20. I think just depending on how smart you are about how you use your stamina, it's not going to be that big of a deal over doing the manual.
For me, how I kind of compensate it by just making a team that takes longer to farm.
That too, like, level fodder, make 6 stars. 1 and 2 man things instead of trying to get it done in 40 seconds.
What do you mean?
It's
For
good.
doing it 40 seconds is just makes it so much faster.
Well, I mean, if you want to spend $1,000 a day on Epic 7, you can do that.
What do you mean people don't spend don't whale for leaf packs?
If they released like a weekly leaf pack on top of the monthly leaf pack, I would just buy them every week as well.
Yep. Anyway, like I don't know. I think 20 is a good number for the big pet. I'm glad it's not more than that. And
Yeah,
I think less than that might be a little annoying too. I think it's a good number. I think
know
it's
we
going
had
to be
this
about being careful.
Actually, we had a discussion on that actually. How 20? Hey, we discussed 20 was a good balance or a good compromise for full auto.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. 20 is a good amount because it forces you to at least pay attention to the game every 20 to 30 minutes, right? And you have to have the game open. That's another gripe that I saw was that people were like, well, I don't want to just keep my game open for 30 minutes. What am I supposed to do with my phone, in that time? I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you, man. But 20 seems like a good number. I'm glad that it wasn't just set it and forget it. You can just put your emulator on, grab 6,000 energy and then turn it on and then just come back later on, 4 or 5 hours. But I think that it is a good mix of the two. We'll see how it plays with the community and stuff like that now that it's out there and they don't really have anything that they can complain about pet wise. Because I mean, I think
stamina. They've been complaining about stamina anyway. It's gonna happen, but
right.
The question is, I'm not sure whether they should fix it or not. Truthfully,
to be fair, 30 Skystones for 60 stamina does seem kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, refills. I think they could stand to improve a little bit. I'm just talking people are calling for massive stamina overhaul, and I don't know that that's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that anything massive overhaul is going to happen in the first place. But, I mean, if they just made it so that the Leafs refilled your whole bar, that would probably be, the best that they could do.
Yeah, Leafs and Skystones both, really.
I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, because, I mean, I understand what you're saying. 30 Skystones for 60 stamina, it's I'm going to burn, that's, 3 hunts. So you're paying 10 Skystones per hunt? Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then the Wyvern drops 5 Skystones for you.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the same as the energy though, right? Because it only drops half energy. So, I mean, I guess at least you get half of your stuff back.
Remember when the Wyvern gave 20 energy or something? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Remember when it gave pet snacks?
Oh my god, I was so
the community remembers.
I wish it would have kept me doing pet snacks. I would have been swimming in friend points now. I mean, I'm already swimming in friend points, but I would have been swimming even harder.
I used them all. I've got 50,000 friend points. I'm I don't need any more.
Yeah.
I have
use them...
37 pet snacks right now. I don't know how much that'll give, but I'm pretty sure it's not enough.
For what? For pet tickets? You needed 150 to get all of the adoption tickets you could turn in.
Yeah, I kind of used them for the side story back then.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know that like a lot of people were like, "Oh crap, I don't have any of these," because I was just using them willy nilly, and I'm like, I just manually farmed this stuff. I was sitting on a bunch of them. I mean, I've seen pictures of people with like somewhere like in the upwards of like, um, 700-800 pet snacks because that they've because of how hard they farmed Wyvern while they were still in the game, and I'm like, man, that is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for the announcement of Hunt 12. That way we can finally stop getting those 70 gear.
I'm excited about Abyss 100. And let me ask, who do you think is going to be the boss of Abyss 100?
About that, actually. Abyss 93. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, no, I figured that was good. That's going to be a lot of people's response to that one when they just start getting their posture corrected, like real hard. Because when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's a lot of characters on that screen right there, and that's a lot of really rough characters that because they're going to program.
They put a team together for that.
Yeah, they're going to program an Elbrus ritual sword on that Charles.
Yeah, you see that shield icon on that Charles? Yeah, that's actually a sign of an Elbrus ritual sword.
100%. No, absolutely. Well, I mean, their shield doesn't have anything. Well, because like when you fight them in the NPC arena, they have like literal artifacts on them. So I wonder if they'll. They're gonna just make it so Charles counterattacks and just S1 into S2s you 100% of the time.
Yeah, like that Charles has Elbrus. That Basque has an Aureus. I'm pretty sure that Diane has a rod.
Yeah, or her artifact that heals the whole team.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably.
We all heard about the horror stories of Abyss 90.
And that Corvus is pre-nerf Corvus.
Pre-nerf Corvus, 100%. So it doesn't matter if you kill the whole rest of them. You're never getting past 493 because he will solo you.
Pre-nerf Corvus is coming back.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough.
It is, but I'm interested.
93. Imagine 95 or, God forbid, 100.
So I saw a video that speculated Floor 100's boss might be Strays or Straze, or however you want to call him. I feel like Strays is cooler because Straze sounds like, oh no, it's Straze. He's got the my meatball. Strays is way more badass. I'm gonna tell him that.
I don't know that they'll put him in Abyss though. Doesn't seem to like. I don't know,
but like the surprise fight that you have in the story was actually, I'd say, probably gave quite a few people issues.
Oh
so
yeah, no, I saw.
Interested to see what happened if they ramped it up for Floor 100. Yeah, if they ramped it up for Floor 100, it'd be pretty
having trouble with him.
So I don't know. It could be interesting. You're right though. They might not because he is a story boss, but then again, he might also be a future Abyss Floor too.
I feel that from here on out, like Abyss, it's gonna be mostly like NPC or unit kinds of bosses.
They need to pump those out more often. I think that would have gone a long way to quelling some of the like, well, no, Epic 7 doesn't have anything hard to do, because Abyss is where you can put hard things to do.
Right. I think what would be really cool is if they just keep on putting like balanced teams in there. So like 93 where they've got extra people, but it's like they built a whole ass team to fight you. So I think that's pretty cool in itself. Yeah. So
I didn't realize how much I'd missed Abyss until they announced Abyss 90s or 100s coming up.
And then you'll be reminded of how much you hate Abyss.
Yeah,
it's okay though, because after I beat 100 and get the Moonlight bookmarks, I'll just use them to roll 3 ML5s back to back to back.
I mean, clearly Floor 100 will give you an ML5 at selector ticket, right?
Oh, 100%. ML selector ticket or Riot.
Of course it will.
ML5 selector and Riot.
That's a little too big brain for me.
No, you'll have people that'll be like, oh, it's only an ML5. That's not really worth the effort to clear this. Like they do with 100 in a automation tower. They're like, it's just not worth it to get the to get that those bookmarks. Like, dude.
Like pre nerf automation tower, all that headache, heartache, aneurysms for one ML5, just 5 ML bookmarks, just for the Arrowell that Pachex will never get.
Never will. She's
I
dodging
mean,
me.
yeah, but there's the 2.5% chance that you would get a spez. So
I know that you got like 3 spezzes and he's SSS because of that right now.
he's absolutely. I've only ever fed him, I think, like one actual says, because like the says banner came out and I rolled for says just to feed to my spez.
Very nice.
So yeah, no, he is triple S, for sure. But yeah, no, I think that I think Abyss 4 is going to be really, really fun. I'm looking forward to, like you said, the frustration and salt that's going to come with that. And speaking of frustration and salt, let's talk about the limited Aisu waifu,
Here we go.
because Smilegate doesn't know how to make any other element or class, for that matter, a limited character, because Cerise, the 5-star ice ranger waifu limited character, has a bunch of people up in arms, and I think that much like other limited characters, she's absolutely going to just destroy the current meta.
For sure, because the thing about her is like, of course that Smilegate's headquarters is a frozen tomb, because every single limited character has been ice. The only one that has not been is Baiken, and everyone says that she's trash, so I guess
I
that
mean,
might be one reason why
technically Soul is also a limited character.
he's not special, alright?
I was gonna say Xeno, but
love.
Xeno is ice as well.
Yeah. And she is... At first I was curious, like, why is she a ranger? She clearly looks like a mage, but when I read her skills,
That's
it
why.
made too much sense why, because she completely nullifies the immunity set, because it reduces all skill, like, buff cooldowns by 1. Immunity set only gives you the 1 turn.
Yep.
Yep.
And then she
Immunity set is
places
worthless in front of her.
a slow debuff and restricts combat readiness.
I
What
think
were they thinking?
the combat readiness restriction is probably like the most important thing, like, out of that kit, because that shuts down. Oh, they have an Oxlots, boom, done, completely worthless now. That negates Rose, that negates a Rused, that negates quite a few people that people use in order to CR push, because the meta right now is a lot of cleaves. So you have if you can manipulate their combat readiness and their potential to push their super slow units forward, then you have the control over the flow of the match. And I think that's going to be a really, really big thing in RTA, and you can expect her to pretty much be a staple in RTA scene, as she has not only the 1 turn buff reduction, which can actually screw over a lot of buffs that are just like, oh, you get this for 1 turn, or even if, let's say, they get a turn and this just makes it so that that buff is going to be gone a lot faster. But not only that, but she has a stun, and then she's which has a, doesn't that have a CR push back, I think?
Yes.
Yeah,
CR push back
by 30%, and
and
then
stuns you,
And then pushes herself up.
by 50%.
Right. And then on her S1, she's got 15%. I think it can go up to like 25. I'd have to look again, but I know her S1 pushes her forward as well. So it's like she is going to be getting a million turns. And that's the other thing too, is like, oh, okay, cool, you got rid of the anti-CR push debuff. Well, I mean, she's probably going to lap you a handful of times and then put that right back on you.
And here too, let's not forget. Okay, so this is a hero whose entire design philosophy is, let's prevent other people from using any kind of CR push except their speed. But she also cuts their speed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
I said, what were they thinking?
And
If
her
you-
base speed is way higher than Basar. So all those people
Yeah.
saying Basar is going to counter her, no, he's not. She's going to go first. She's faster. And because she goes first and can strip off everyone's immunity set, you can run something like Fire Lidica, right, who can also be way faster than Basar. Reset that sucker, and they're done. They're done. They're finished.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that, yeah, people will bring up the fact that, Basar has elemental advantage, but, if you're stripping everyone else on the team, yeah, who cares about the Basar, right? So, like you said, just run a super fast, run an additionally like a super fast Fire Lidica. She just whips and nays him right to the back. He's slowed, and then everyone else is slowed. They can't get CR pushed forward, and you just come through and just dunk all over them.
I think this is going to be Dizzy double. Like, I think you would be absolutely insane to skip rolling this hero. I've echoed what all the other content creators have already said. Roll this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, base
absolutely.
122. That is insane. That, dude, I think
To
this
put that
arena
into
is about to become
perspective,
a lot
that
more
is faster than
Four.
Silk and 2 speed slower than Fire Lidica. And then, so there is only Kayron, Assassin Sid, Celeste, Akali, Sid, Moonlight Rin, and Lidica in front of her in terms of speed. So there's those are the only characters that are going to be faster base speed than her. And Basar is like 108. So that's makes her so much easier to build stupid fast.
The only thing that can like maybe like kind of limit her use is that she doesn't have any CR push like tied to her S3. But it's still gonna be really tough to combat that restriction debuff.
So you know what you do? You just run Roman. Just run a fast Roman. He has all the CR push back that you need in an AoE form as well. So she strips off their immunity sets. Roman just keeps pushing them back. He's got buff removal as well. So even if they were to get that back into play, boom, it's gone. You can run, a competent CR pusher on your team. So I was going to run her with like DJ Basar. She'll be the opener into DJ Basar. He'll push forward the other 2 people that I have, and then that can just be cleave right there, or I can just do whatever else it is that I need to do with those 2 characters.
There's just so many things you can do. Even something just like a moderately fast Spectre Tenebria. Like, again, what I said before, just, run Cerise, put a Fire Lidica with like a Spectre Tenebria. Lidica resets the Basar, so now basically Basar has no CR. Their whole team is slowed. And your Spectre Tenebria is going to get a turn because she's fast and they're slow. And she might even lap them because she's fast and they're slow. And then you also have another unit that can kill them for the same reason. All the
people that said DJ Basar is trash, this may very well be the meta where he shines, because
he's like the only thing I can think of to stop this.
Yeah.
Because even if she goes first, he's just going to chuckle to himself, summon his giant Digimon, remove that debuff, and then push everybody forward and give them debuff immunity.
The other thing is, like, maybe Champion Zerato? But, like,
Champion Zerato would be good.
Yeah. Like,
Willius
him
will be
alone
good.
isn't going to do it.
Yeah. Willius will be able to get rid of the debuff once.
The debuff.
But that's not going to make him debuff immune. So I think that, DJ Basar is like going to shine right here.
But too, Cerise is water, Lilius is fire.
Yep.
So I don't know.
And Cerise's modifiers and damage is actually not that bad.
True. She's actually going to hit pretty hard if you build her.
Imagine if she was a mage, and then she'll have that S3 with the crown.
With the crown, yeah.
If she was a mage, this entire game would be busted.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you could run her with
imprint too.
Yeah, you could run her
imprint, crit chance.
Yep, and effectiveness if you ego fragment it. So it's actually really, really solid. Because you can either run her imprint as a support, or you can run her imprint to help with the debuffs if you need that. So it'll be interesting
Also-
to see. Go ahead.
Oh, I said also, does everyone remember why the immunity set became a thing in the first place?
ML Araminta.
That and Dizzy.
It's
Yeah.
Dizzy and ML.
And so essentially Dizzy you can also build fast, right? So obviously she can't be used in RTA yet, but she might eventually.
Yep.
And for now she can still be used in Arena and Guild Wars, but basically you have Cerise who goes first, Dizzy can also be built fast and goes second, so you're back to that. Like, welcome back Dizzy.
Oh yeah. Yep, and if you put any sort of like CR pushback manipulation in there, those three are going to just absolutely just roll all over you. Put in like a Shadow Rose that goes either before Dizzy or after Dizzy, then Dizzy comes back through, hits you with her S2 that pushes you back even further. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah,
You're just gonna be
Dizzy
the only
can
problem.
still solo teams. Dizzy
Yeah.
can still solo teams, and the reason she hasn't been able to do that is because immunity became a thing. Well, Cerise erases immunity, so
Absolutely. And I think that you know, the only thing that's going to stop this really is just praying to RNGesus for that 15% static always resist.
Yep.
I think you actually might see people start switching over to resist sets and stacking some resist, because if you just do that, then you know that negates a lot of what she has going on.
it's kind of like when ML Araminta was a thing. That was actually the only way to beat them in some
Right.
ways when it first came out. So yeah, there may be a resurgence of that.
Sure glad I got all those resist sets from Banshee 11.
It may be the revival of the 300 effect resist ML Ken now, right?
That's why they just put him out. That's why they just put him on Mystics, because this is
He's
they
gonna
know.
have a hard time. He's gonna have a hard time unless they come up with something interesting, because like, especially like this new Spectre Tenebria buff too is just totally anti-ML Ken, and like with immunity being erased, like ML Ken without immunity is really really difficult to use well.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
definitely bait bannered that, because everyone and their mom who didn't have ML Ken and have gotten wrecked by ML Kens went in on that Mystic banner, and then they're
Yep.
like, oh hey, by the way guys, here's a limited character that's going to crap all over this. By the way, you probably didn't read the patch notes, but that Spectre Tenebria buff is going to dunk on him as well.
Dude, Shogun, it's really difficult to read, okay?
It really is, honestly.
Yeah, especially when you're a wiki reader.
That's right, because the wiki's not really up to date over here. I need my 2 years of wiki content to make low effort clickbait videos. But yeah, no, I think that she's going to be amazing. Her artifact is really interesting. And I've already seen people complaining about how we're going to enter the era of invisible SSBs. Because her artifact, I forget what the beginning is, but I know when it maxed out, it's a 70% chance at the end of a unit's turn, they have a 70% chance to gain stealth for 2 turns, and it can only be triggered every 2 turns. So
I think it's a cool artifact, but I don't think it's going to be on SSB.
It's not going to be necessary,
yeah.
like, because stealth, it only really works when it's like a single target meta, and right now it's everyone and their grandma has like AoE built into their kit. Like SSB is always going to be a thing, and she has a passive counter. You have Fallen Cecilia with like who's on every team. You have Lilius who always begins like with an AoE. You have Arbiter Villager who was never ever going to leave the meta, who has an AoE.
And
it's not as amazing as everyone's making it out to be.
And to use that artifact on SSB, you've got to get rid of Drink, and nobody in their right mind is going to get rid of Drink off of SSB.
You know,
Yeah,
I've actually ran
except
into
maybe the one
Bloodstone
one guy.
SSBs that actually gave me a hard time because of all of the healing that she was able to do through her Bloodstone. It was pretty funny.
True.
Yeah,
that could work.
There's been
But-
the odd person with like Rosa Hargana also.
Yeah,
Those are the
I
people
think
that don't have Drink.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see like who people will put it on, because I feel like almost every artifact, like if you find the correct person, like they're just going to destroy with whatever artifact it is. If you put enough, work into it and it's the right niche character, I just don't know who that's going to be yet.
Well, I mean, Time Matter was garbage forever, and then all of a sudden Vivian came out, and it's like perfect on her.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like anymore, like if there's like a welfare artifact or something like that, I'm like, I have to get multiple perfect, like full limit broken copies of this because I don't want to run into another violin situation where I was like, you know what? When am I ever going to use this? And then, somebody was like, I was like, oh, did that Dizzy just strip all of my buffs? That's weird. And I was like, oh, okay.
Every last one of them.
Yeah, guess
Yeah.
I should have probably gotten more. And I know the next time it comes around, everyone and their mom's going to have like 5 max limit broken copies of it because they know how good it is. Same with
I've
Portrait.
only really regretted like not going super hard on one artifact, and that was Portrait of the Saviors. I
Yep.
got 1 maxed, and then I wished I got 3 maxed. With Violin, I got 2 maxed.
Yeah, no,
Which
I ended up maxing 2 portraits because I was like, on a team, am I ever going to really need more than 2? But I also like having more because then I don't have to pay to unequip them and try to remember where they're at on who.
I'm
Yep.
now on my 3rd maxed Tug of Hell's book.
Oh yeah, I'm on my way to
through.
the 3rd one also.
Yeah, I'm halfway through my 3rd one.
And I'm
But I
like,
got a
do I
bunch of
make a
other stuff.
4th? And I'm like,
We
no,
gotta
probably not
make
yet.
a 4th. We're gonna make 10 maxed, all right? 10 max target helds.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about a 4th because then you could like do something really fun with Spectre Tenebria.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's never enough souls, all right? Never enough souls.
Never enough souls until I run ML Tywin and just chain S1U and then they're all gone.
Oh boy. It's more likely a problem with Spectre Tenebria because she's probably gonna burn S1U, and then she's gonna take half of someone's life, and then they're gonna S3, and then she's gonna blow you up like the next turn she gets.
Spectre Tenebria soul burns and takes another turn too, so.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Like,
dude.
that was
ML
always
Tywin
a
will save everything.
Because she could get countered, and everyone knows Albert's Ritual Sword has a 100% proc rate.
Yes, it does.
On the other team.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually the other problem with Cerise's signature artifact. It's only 70% chance, meaning it's 7%.
Yep. Yeah, if it was 100% chance, then that would have been better, but it also kind of would have been broken. So
It would have made it interesting to use because, like you said, it's still really early to find out like who could really abuse that artifact. Definitely not
I don't know.
Pavel.
It's not SSB. It's not Pavel, it's not SSB, I'll tell you that.
yeah.
Like, people are not going to take off things like Drink and Bloodstone and these other things for that artifact on SSB.
Maybe it'll be ML Assyria.
Maybe. Maybe. But all right, I think that's most of the stuff from the last 2 weeks. You guys got anything to end the day off with?
Just really, really
yes,
good content. I'm happy with it.
Yes.
Go for it.
Haste buff never.
Dude, yes. Haste buff, absolutely. Haste, it just is never going to get. We need an ML haste. That's how they'll fix that haste.
It's really crazy how they're willing to completely rework Charlotte, but ignore haste. The boy can't even get an extra equipment.
Yeah, it's okay. He's just off doing his own thing, being being mad at boomers.
Remember the day when Haste was considered like one of the best opening heroes? Like, people re-rolled accounts just to try and get him off of Covenant. And
Absolutely.
now he can't even see the light of day.
Poor
Well, it's
Haste.
because immunity sets. I
Yeah,
think that
that and-
if we get more things to take care of the immunity sets, then maybe bleeds could find a way in. I would actually really love to see bleeds make their way into more PvP and bleeds and burns and stuff like that. I think that would be really great, but it's super hard.
Actually, something that someone brought up a while ago was like a way to buff bleed is to like make it so you do additional damage when like attacking or something. I don't know. That might seem broken depending on how they decide to execute it, but bleeds, like, there's just no reason to use them because it deals way less damage than poison. It is
Yeah, but I mean, how many
completely
people have
inferior.
poisons?
it's completely inferior to burn.
Right.
There's really nothing that makes it.
But there's only a couple
Nice.
people that burn.
Yeah,
Baiken works with
you
it, but
got
that's because
Carrot.
Baiken does a crap load of damage anyway and detonates those bleeds, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got Carrot that is welfare.
Yeah.
Burn
No, I get
user
that.
Who is so good, actually.
I mean, when it comes to poison, though, there's not too many people rocking poison in their kit. I mean, yeah, it is.
Vector Tenebria!
Yeah, but
Isn't
I
that
mean,
like a 5% chance, anyways?
what's that on to get poison?
From Spectre Tenebria.
Oh,
She's
gotcha.
kind of got a low proc chance, yeah, but it's...
Yeah,
She's got it.
Yeah, she does.
but all right,
But yeah, haste desperately needs a buff, guys.
I agree. There's a handful of characters that just kind of don't ever see the light of day anymore. But the nice thing is, though, is that they do go through and buff the buff characters regularly.
Yeah, normally when they decide to buff them, it's actually very, very good.
Yeah, you know, and like some of them, it's like not super overpowered. Sometimes they tweak things way too far, but you know, at least they're
Vildred.
yeah, at least they're trying, and at least they don't just power creep their own units in a way like to make things just better. Like I know a lot of people have been complaining lately about the fact that like a lot of the new characters that are coming out aren't very like noteworthy. They're not overpowered. They're just okay. And
That's
it's like
the Force race.
well, yeah. But it's like I'd much rather have a new character come out that's not bad, you know, has their uses, than every character that comes out is like just literally game changing, meta shaking, instantly kill everybody on the screen with just their S1 you know, type of character. I think that it gives you more things to kind of strategize and think about.
I think they've been doing a good job with balance for the most part lately, although I question Cerise a little bit. Like, I feel like sometimes they put out a kit that's like this one, and it's got one too many things. Like, why does a character who is designed to reduce, like, eliminate CR push and make you reliant on your speed, why does it also slow? Like,
Yeah.
that is totally unnecessary and extra.
Yeah, her kit is pretty stacked.
I feel like every now and then, too, it's like, it's always that one thing too much that they do. Like, back before the original Arbiter Vildred nerf, Arbiter Vildred had attack buff. Why did he have attack buff? It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, because he needed it. I
Clearly.
mean, nobody ran basket on him, so he needed to have something.
Right.
He definitely needed that attack buff. Can we get him to have attack buff again?
Ask
Absolutely.
your boss.
Yeah, ask your boss. But all right, guys, I think that that's about all we have for this week. I'm interested to see what we get with next week. Hasn't really been too much in the way of data mines. I know that the next KR live stream, they're actually going to bring us some information about Coeric, you know, which is going to have a lot of husbando aficionados, very, very hype. But yeah,
People have been waiting a long time for that.
it's true. It's true.
There's
And if
someone in our Discord chat that would love Coeric to be
Oh, yeah.
released right now.
oh yeah, but I think he'll be with whatever the event after Valentine's Day, most likely. I can see the next part of a story or something along those lines, which would be interesting because we would have a limited into a new RGB, which kind of wrecks the pacing that we've had. But you know what? Hey, maybe they're just trying to shake things up before they officially launch RTA. But anyways, I'm sure we'll have more about that in 2 weeks when we do the next episode of this, because we're just doing it bi-weekly now. So
Sounds good to me.
That's
Yeah.
normally when the really juicy stuff happens.
it's true. It's true. It gives us 2 weeks of stuff to talk about too. So, but anyways, guys, I want to thank both Pachex and Stowe for joining me, and for you guys at home listening. If you do like this, think about hitting that subscribe button, smashing the bell notification, dropping us a like and a comment. And if you leave some comments in there and you want to say that like Snow sucks or something like that, I will make sure that he is well aware of that. But anyways, I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Peace.
Crack it.